Hello wrestling fans, and welcome to another edition of Tag Team, brought to you by Unified Wrestling and UnifiedWrestling.com. I'm your host, Cesar Scorpio, alongside the invincible E. Vincent, and as always, we'll be unifying all four corners of North American wrestling to you, from WWE, TNA, lucha libre, and anything else that may be significant to you. If there's something you want us to go over, or any questions for us, 4 easy ways to contact us. Number 1, reply to the video. Number 2, email unifiedwrestling@rocketmail.com. Number 3, Facebook, facebook.com/unified wrestling, and Twitter, twitter.com/UNFD wrestling. Now we have another full plate ahead of us, beginning with our top rope for the 3rd straight week again, TNA. The reason why? Simple, 2 words, Victory Road. What happened with Victory Road here this week was not only crazy, but it was, I mean, we had we'll say 7.5 matches.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we'll say that. So Victory Road was a really big pay-per-view, and there was a lot of controversy ending that pay-per-view. So due to time constraints, we're just going to go ahead and condense that down. We're going to go ahead and go over the highlights. You can see all of the results here from Victory Road on UnifiedWrestling.com. Check the results. We have the results there for Raw, SmackDown as well. After that Victory Road, we'll be going over WWE information, the latest on that, and also information on Lucha Libre, on the Lucha Libre Minute, not to mention the 3 the hard way. So let's start off here with the top rope. E, what do you think about this Victory Road? Results here, I mean, huge main event. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's start off here with what happened here, exchanging of titles. Starting with Sarita, Rosita, and what happened with the Beautiful People?
The match between Sarita and Rosita and the Beautiful People, it was actually very, very well done. Sarita is actually distinguishing herself as she's making everybody look good. Everybody who wrestles against her, she makes them look good. So it was a very good match. I thought it was well executed. Don't know what's going to happen down the road as far as, you know, how they're going to do the next matchups or whatever, but yeah, it was a very good match.
Right. If you guys weren't watching it, there was a big issue here with Winter feeling that Velvet Sky interrupted in some way. Now, Velvet Sky ended up protecting her and Angelina Love from losing the belts earlier in the match, but all they saw was her holding the axe. Exactly. That's all they saw. So what happens with that, we'll check it out on the next Impact, but we'll move on from there. Kazarian retaining the Division X Championship. It was a good match. A lot of back and forth. If you haven't seen the Division X Championship, what do you say about that, E?
Tight ropes, walking tight ropes across the top of the suspension over the mat. That X Championship is like no other wrestling event. It has to be seen to be believed. I thought it was, again, well executed. Honestly, I had no idea what was going to happen. It was, nobody expected to see somebody walking a tightrope, so it was very awesome. If you didn't see it, you missed out. Definitely.
It was something to see. But again, Kazarian ends up retaining that. Generation Me tried to get a little bit tricky there. It ended up blowing up in their face. But again, go over that information on UnifiedWrestling.com results for Victory Road. Next would be Beer Money defeating Inc. Now, the big issue here with the way this went down was Inc. The one that actually showed what they can do and showed to be a future star to come is Shannon Moore. Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about Shannon Moore, E.
Shannon Moore, for those who weren't able to keep them distinguished, 2 guys in there, one with a red mohawk, one with a black and white mohawk. Shannon Moore was the one with the black and white mohawk. About 2/3 of the way through the match, the turbos kicked in. This guy started doing some pretty impressive moves. Some looked like some lucha moves, the Hurricanrana, etc. He distinguished himself. If this group happens to split apart at some point in the future, he's going to do just fine.
Well, the way that match ended, it looked like it is in the brink of splitting up there. Yes. Shannon Moore not wanting no part of his tag team partner. Yeah. It looks like Shannon Moore is going to break out. He looks like a great Division X competitor. If he goes to Division X, I'm totally behind him. He looks like he's got the stuff.
Yeah, he does.
All right, next we're going to go over AJ Styles defeating Matt Hardy. Now, Matt Hardy, I like to call him Fat Hardy because he's the fatter of the two. But again, with the help of Ric Flair, I mean, anything's possible, right?
Exactly.
Tell us a little bit about what happened there, especially with Ric Flair's interference.
Yeah, Ric Flair's interference. Very, very disturbing interference. At one point, I thought he was gonna go for just a single shot to the junk. No, he grabbed on and held on like somebody was trying to steal his wallet. It was not cool at all. Right.
Man should never grab another man like that.
That's wrong.
Maybe in prison, but that's another story. All right, the next thing we're going to be going over is RVD and Mr. Anderson ending in a draw. Now, that was a good match leading all the way up to the end there. And the way that it ended up being done, it looks like a mic check here at the end.
Yeah.
In the rails, on the floor, on the walkway on the way to the ring. Neither man could get into the ring sooner. Why did that go that way, E?
I figured that it was basically they set it up that way so that they could have some continuing drama down the line. Mr. Anderson wanted his shot for the title, but apparently maybe they're going to push that part of it down the road a bit. And if what happened next in the main event hadn't happened, which we'll get into, then it would make perfect sense. Let's go start. I got to talk about this main event.
All right, let's get started on that. We're going to go here with the main event. Now, the main event was the most controversial thing there was. We had a lot of information on that on Unified Wrestling. If you go to Unified Wrestling right now, you'll still see that there's aftermath that is being done here.
88 seconds.
Crazy.
88 seconds.
Crazy. All right. What ended up happening here, Sting versus Hardy, should have been a big deal. Apparently, what ended up happening, Hardy wasn't ready for the match based on what the wrestling world is saying. As E was saying here, 88 seconds.
Okay, I don't care. If Matt Hardy was not ready for the match, then they should have pulled him from the match. The draw that they had, what they could have done instead of that was before the tag team match between RVD and Mr. Anderson happened, they could have come out and said, Bischoff could have come out at that time and said, whoever, we're changing the schedule. Whoever wins this match will go on immediately to go against Sting. Period. That would have been a perfect way to work it out. No. 88 seconds, and everybody hates you now.
All right, Scorpion Death Drop ended this match, and again, 88 seconds. So after that, Sting looked surprised after that Scorpion Death Drop, and not being able to kick out of it. Apparently, Jeff Hardy, the ropes were right there. Didn't put a foot up there. Made no effort. Okay, made no effort. I was a big Jeff Hardy fan leading up to this match. This has definitely knocked him down some notches. What his personal issues are, again, we'll go over that a little bit more in detail. But 88 seconds for a main event on a pay-per-view that had 8 quality matches showing on the card, ending like that. Again,
the rest of the event was tight. The rest of the event was done very, very well.
7.5 matches. That's why we came with that number. Now, some questions on that, E. Was Matt Hardy under the influence?
I think so. I mean, I have no information to back this up. All I know is after the match, Matt Hardy sent out a Twitter that basically said, "I'm OP." What does that mean?
OOP? He's in an OPP?
Just OP.
He's not down with OPP.
He might have been trying to type OK.
Yeah, he's not.
Nobody knows.
Okay. No, he wasn't.
Problems.
All right.
Problems
Now, before this match kicked off, Bischoff came into the ring, say it was going to be a no DQ match. Now, no DQ match, you expect at least a 15, 30-minute match, right?
Well, when that happened, it was like about 35 minutes before the allotted time for the event.
Right.
So it could have and should have gone at least 30 minutes.
Well, what ended up happening and what has come out since then is that when Eric Bischoff walked up to Jeff Hardy, when he walked up to Jeff Hardy, he hugged Jeff Hardy. Now that was the signal to execute the audible, according to what the sources are saying. Now, was he right in calling the audible? What was the audible? Was it for Jeff Hardy just to finish the match right there? Apparently, if you look on UnifiedWrestling.com, there's a story that has leaked out stating that on his way to the arena, he was walking sort of sluggishly. Now, stumbling upon himself. Again, he wasn't in his right mind. That was what the TNA personnel was advising, that he wasn't in his right mind at the time. What that means, again, that's going to be for later time to speculate on. Next question I have, E, is did TNA lose momentum with this pay-per-view, even though it was a huge card?
I think definitely. I mean, you know, what can you say? I know Bischoff goes by the mantra that controversy creates cash, but you know, this isn't the way to do it. You know, if you want to have controversy, you know, give somebody a surprise ending that doesn't involve, you know, the event being significantly shortened. So yeah, I believe that they lost some momentum. They're gonna have to work really hard to get it back.
Well, now what the sources are saying here in wrestling is that TNA doesn't have a lead man. I mean, it's supposed to be Hogan, it's supposed to be Dixie Carter, it's supposed to be Eric Bischoff. There's like not one person that is in control of that place. They said one wrestler, undisclosed their name, after that pay-per-view from TNA said it's like the asylum's being run by the inmates, and that's what it looks like. That appeared to be the issue here with WCW, and we all know how that turned out. Like you mentioned here, it doesn't look too good here for TNA, but wow, it's a real fall from grace to where they were just from one match from one man, being Jeff Hardy. Now, what's the next one? What's next for Matt Hardy? Excuse me, Jeff Hardy. Excuse me.
Yeah, they need to give him some time off. I mean, see, I believe what I read earlier was that they sent him home. He needs to stay there until he gets straightened out. Whatever the issue is, wish him well, wish him the best, but he's got to get well if he wants to get back into the game. That's my opinion.
That's a good point. I mean, that's what ended up happening with the Ultimate Warrior. That's what happened with Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. I mean, you got to be right in the head. It's not something that is easy to do, this wrestling thing. It takes a lot of work, a lot of commitment, a lot of conditioning. You can't just show up and say, I'm ready for the show. No, that's not the way it works.
That's how people get hurt.
Exactly. We'll get a little bit more into that as well. Now, are TNA's days numbered at this point?
I hesitate to say that TNA's days are numbered, but if they want to get back, if they want to gain some of the momentum that they lost, they got to start here and now. They have to get a unified idea of which way they want to go, and work on through it, and you know, be serious about it. And if situations like this come up, they need to take care of them before they get out in public.
Right. I agree with that. Now, biggest concern here, and playing minds with the audience. You know, Bischoff's a big fan of that. So, saying that, was it all part of the angle? What do you think?
No. No, I'm sorry. If it is, then they totally sold me. I mean, because, yeah, I totally believe that, yeah, it turned into a big mess. So, if they made all these fans angry on purpose, okay, it's going to lose you money.
Listen to your pen now. Listen to your pen. All right. Well, that's all the information that we have right now. Make sure you keep checking on UnifiedWrestling.com for the latest information from Victory Road and all this chaos that's happening after the fact. Now, interesting enough, we're going to have a Impact here this Thursday. We'll see how that ends up turning out. But at this point, doesn't look good for TNA, and we'll keep you updated if anything comes up with TNA. Next, we'll touch base here with WWE and E. What a Monday Night Raw this last Monday. Now, Monday Night Raw started off with The Miz. Started off first off with The Rock, talking all this junk to a child that was supposed to be John Cena. But I think who ended up stealing the show here on this Monday Night Raw was Miz.
Definitely.
Is Miz now, today, must see?
This guy keeps showing up doing crazy stuff. I mean, you know,